Hi, my name's Cricket, and I have been hospitalized 3 times for suicide ideation. And there's a lot of stigma that's associated with behavioral hospitals, psych wards, um, mental hospitals, whatever you want to call them. And it's unfortunate because it prevents people from reaching out when they need help. And I just want to kind of take some of the stigma out of that and make it to where people are a little more likely to ask for help if they need it. Um, it's not a scary thing. Just let you know the process. If you don't feel safe, if you feel like you are going to harm yourself, if you can't stop thinking about hurting yourself, then I want you to go to the ER. They will ask you some questions. They will admit you to the behavioral hospital, and there they will do an intake exam. It's not scary. They will check you for needle marks to see if you have a history with drugs. Not scary. If you do, it's not a problem. If you have scars from self-harm, they also need to know that. If you do, also not a problem. Everyone has a past. We deal with what we have. We start where we are. So if you have a history of drugs or self-harm, just include that in the things you address with your psychiatrist. It's that simple. Um, they give you scrubs to wear, so you basically lounge around in your pajamas for a couple weeks. They have you meet with a psychiatrist, and it gives them a couple weeks to keep you in a controlled environment while they play around with your medication to find the right combination. So I don't know what you're dealing with, so I couldn't tell you what medications would work best for you. Mine was a sleep medication to keep my sleep cycles steady, bipolar, has you all over the board on your sleep schedule. I'm an antipsychotic because I'm bipolar 1 and it makes me hear voices. And antidepressive, depression drug for the downswings. And so, actually, there's several of those. So I take a total of 7 medications. And it took 3 hospitalizations and 30 years to find the right combination. I've been stable for 3 years. And stable meaning living a normal, regulated life. No major crashes, no major manic episodes, just normal mood swings that happen with everyday events. That is huge for me. It hasn't been that stable since I was 18. So it was a long time coming, and going to the hospital those 3 times when it got really bad were a key part in reaching that success. Um, the hospital itself isn't scary. You get 3 meals a day and a snack, and you get shared room, shower. They give you a journal, group therapy sessions, teach you ways to handle stress better. You watch TV in the evenings. It's just a quiet place to reset. It takes you out of whatever situation was overloading your system long enough for you to recalibrate. You still have to go back, you still have to face your life, but for those 2 weeks, you get to reset and make some decisions about how you're going to go forward. Set some support systems in place and get some medication on board that can help with the worst of the emotional load. So if you broke your leg, you would get a cast. If you had an illness, you would get medication. If you have extreme stress, extreme depression, extreme mental symptoms of any kind, you get help and then you move on. That's what this is. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't let anyone talk you out of it because they're worried about how it's going to look. The optics are not worth your life. I got accused of using it to manipulate people. I got accused of faking my mental illness and things because I'd be normal one day and I would be irrational another, and people didn't understand. Not everyone's going to understand. Not everyone's going to even try to understand, and that's okay. We can only deal with what's in front of us. One thing I do recommend is that you get God on your side, because that's one relationship that will not fail. It's only as strong as you make it, though. He won't force his way into your life. It's entirely as strong as you make it. So whatever you put into it is what you get out of it. So if you want to be close to him, if you want to have that connection, even if everyone else turns against you, and I've been there, you have to put in the work. You have to pray, even when praying is the last thing you want to do. You have to be real and honest. Yell at God. Rage. Cry. Give him your heartbreak. Give him your sorrow. Let him comfort you. Give him the load when it's too heavy to carry, and tell him to take it so that you can sleep. And keep giving it to him as often as you need to until you can go to sleep. Just say, God, take it from me. I can't do it tonight. I can't tell you how many times I've needed to do that. and I would get the comfort I needed to go to sleep, and then I could handle it again the next day. So I just hope that if you're watching this and you are struggling, that this takes a little bit of the fear out of getting up. You're not alone. There are resources available to you. Don't be afraid to reach out and get them. I love you. I wish you well.